But will this week's reports help jumpstart the major indices where they raise more questions about the state of the AI trade? Google certainly seemed to have maybe lifted the bar even for these results, since the results were pretty solid.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, so I think the advertising part was a good read-through to Meta. I think it's going to be easy for companies to not give a lot of clarity, guidance, or this dual guidance that we've seen, because how can you possibly know? I actually think giving guidance, I don't understand giving guidance in this environment at all. So I don't know that we're going to have real clarity yet. But if it's bad, if the first quarter was bad, that's not going to be good.
I think it's interesting to have these numbers dropped in the context of really where we've come from the market, because we've now, I almost get the sense that the pay and trade for markets is actually higher here, at least in the short run. Before, I think, massive pull forward, a lot of pressure on the business community, what multiple we should pay for the S&P, the consumer headwinds. I think people almost kind of want to believe. And as we're getting into the end of last week, what we're starting to see was the NASDAQ. First of all, the NASDAQ was outperforming the S&P, and semis were outperforming the NASDAQ. Now, I'm not saying that this is where we're going to get back to the leadership that we had for 2 years, for 5 years. But I think based upon what we should be hearing so far, remember, we've heard in the last few weeks, not only do we get Google, but we heard Amazon, we heard NVIDIA talk about AI demand, not seeing any let up. Some of this was anecdotal, different CEO interviews. But I don't know where it suddenly changes here. Now, Dan Niles is going to be a great conversation. Other people that are really kicking the tires, channel checks. What I'm hearing is it's not that simple, that actually there could be some slowdown. And I think the brave face in mega cap tech is interesting because, again, something that Karen says all the time. Why the need to go out there and say everything's great right now when, in fact, it couldn't be?
Yeah, this is going to surprise you from the silver lining guy. I just didn't think that Google quarter was particularly that great. If you look at GCP and you look at the deceleration it's seen quarter over quarter, it came in at 28% growth, which sounds great, right? It's off a much lower base, let's say, than AWS and Azure. But, last quarter it was 30%. The quarter before that, it was 35%, right? And I know what you just said about ad revenue, and that was good. And they saw better than expected margins, and they kept CapEx in the same spot. But the stock did not act particularly well, which is very different than 3 months ago, where the stock was, it's not that different, but the stock was at an all-time high. It was down 30-some% at its recent lows. Yeah, it bounced into it. But the stock reaction tells you that investors are not particularly that excited or, I think while the bar is low, as we get into Meta, as we get into Amazon, as we get into Microsoft, if these stocks, again, see deceleration, or the companies in their cloud businesses, but they leave CapEx in the same spot, I just don't think they're going to trade particularly well.
Let me just push back a little bit on Google. I mean, you did touch on the run going into it. It was up $15 into it. But also, on the cloud, they did say they were supply constrained, not demand constrained. So I thought that growth number was fine, given that, they're...
And that's why the CapEx was static, right? They didn't change that whatsoever. But investors are thinking the opposite right now, right? They didn't buy it up after, even being down as much as it is from the highs. And I know it had that rally. So I just think that as we get further into earnings season, let's just say the stock market stays, flat for the next few days until we get to that jobs report. It's going to take a meaningful increase as far as whatever the metrics that you're looking at Meta, at Amazon, and at Microsoft to get these stocks moving higher, in my opinion. And even now, they don't trade at multiples that I think make you even feel that good about it. And I'll tell you the other thing. NVIDIA acts like what. I mean, NVIDIA acts...
Come on, you can say it.
I mean, if we were on a trading desk, maybe Rebecca, I'd get away with it. But it does not act particularly well. And the headlines, one is worse than the next. And you would have thought after that Google CapEx that it might have traded a little bit better.
Wow, if you're Mr. Silver Linings guy, I want to see the other guy. We are in a curious spot, and we've said this before, where the data is not necessarily reflecting what we are seeing on the front lines of business. And so as long as that sort of weird disconnect exists, could we actually be okay and surprised to the upside for this earnings season? I feel like there's such, pessimism going into the season because of what we believe will happen that hasn't yet happened, at least in the economic data.
Shoot. All right. Can we untangle that,
please,
Gordian knot,
please?
I mean, when I put that into the context of the tech stocks, if I'm looking at a position I want to hold for the next 3 years, tech is at least a market weight in my mind, because I think there's a decent probability that over that period we'll have a slowdown, we'll come back through it. These companies will continue to be globally dominant, and America is probably going to win the race to get to AGI. And when we get that catalyst, we remember how fun ChatGPT was when that catalyst hit the mainstream. This one will be too, I think. And so if we get another sell-off, if we get a further derating of these stocks and you have an opportunity to average into them at better levels for a longer-term investor, I don't even care about the non-guidance and what's happening in the short term. It's more of the strategic, thematic investment here. But I agree with you, Karen. I mean, in the very short term, I almost don't know if I care what they say over the next few days, because do they even know what they're saying? How could anyone have confidence right now? It could change tomorrow.